I'm going to tell you about the time I built a six-figure apparel brand from scratch. Only ideas came straight from my brain. Here's how I did it. So I was working in restaurant management at the time, and I was working about 50 hours a week. I was making decent money. I was driving a cool Mustang, and I really did enjoy my life, but I've always felt a sense of I need to do better, a sense of I'm meant for more. And so entrepreneurship has always been something that I have dabbled in and started different businesses. And so I was sitting at my kitchen table one night and I was smoking either a cigar or hookah, having a glass of whiskey. And at this time I was very involved in the car scene. Very involved in the car scene, going to car meets, doing a little bit of racing, that kind of thing. And I said, man, the only apparel out there for car enthusiasts are like graphic tees that you would see at Walmart with like a Mustang on it or a Chevelle on it or a Corvette on it. And that's not really the type of apparel that a grown man would like to wear to a car meet. You know, somebody wearing one of those shirts is not gonna be perceived as, you know, manly. It's more of a kind of a kid thing. And so I said, car enthusiasts need a more gentlemanly attire. They need something that they can rock that represents the car community and the car culture without coming off childish. And so I ended up coming up with a name of Gentlemen's Driving Club. And so I created an online apparel company called Gentlemen's Driving Club in 2017. I formed the LLC in October, and I created this brand. I went to a graphic designer to design the logo, to design the apparel, and I didn't know exactly where to start, but I said, I'm going to start with Instagram. I know Instagram, I like Instagram. So I created an Instagram page for Gentlemen's Driving Club. And what I did was I set up a sponsorship program, a brand ambassador program, and where I said, okay, hey, I reached out to car enthusiasts and I said, I want you to rock our gear and I want you to be a brand ambassador. I'm going to give you a discount code that you can use for your own merchandise, and then your followers can use it. And every time that somebody uses your code, you're gonna get free merch and free benefits. You're gonna get benefits. You're also gonna get access to our private community, private car meets, private Discord group, so on and so forth, exclusive apparel drops. And I built this business and this clientele and this brand ambassador program, sponsorship program, 100% on Instagram DMs. And I did it from scratch. It's not like I had a big following before or anything like that. I started at zero. And all I did was DM people all day long. While I was on my shift, while I was in the restroom, when I got off of work, all day long I would DM people. And what they bought into was not the apparel, not that the apparel looked cool. They bought into the story of the brand, the emotions that I was trying to convey in the type of person who wears our apparel. We were an apparel brand for gentlemen who wanted to look good when they went to their car meets and still bring the culture with them. We wanted apparel that, you know, it could be a t-shirt that you could rock to a car meet, but a polo or a fishing shirt that you could rock to a business meeting. And we did everything from, like I said, t-shirts to polo shirts, fishing shirts, so on and so forth. There was apparel for every setting that a car enthusiast would ever be in. And they bought into the vision, they bought into the story. We had the catchphrase, copyrighted, what drives you? And that was really about what drives you, what drives your passion for cars in the community. And it caught on like wildfire. We grew our page to over 25,000 followers completely organically. We never asked people to follow us. It was strictly through growing our page, growing our ambassador program, growing our customer base. We ended up shipping product to all 50 states. And I built this apparel brand from scratch, and it did six figures. It did six figures very quickly. And it was an amazing accomplishment. It gave me a lot of confidence in my business acumen, my marketing acumen, my sales acumen, because every single sale that I made of those six figures was straight from my thumbs, just DMing people on Instagram. And I would see these Shopify, cha-ching, 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 literally seconds and minutes after sending DMs. And then I hired a couple sales guys who created accounts to DM more people and do the same thing. And that's really how we expanded and grew the brand. And I tell you this story because I had no experience doing that before I did it. It all kind of came together in some kind of divine manner where I had been studying business. I'd listened to the Grant Cardones, the Ty Lopez's, all that kind of stuff, read all the books, and accumulation of all that knowledge. Once I started acting, once I created the LLC, once I created the logo, once I designed the first pieces of apparel, once I created an Instagram account, once I took those actions, all of the knowledge and all of the actions just started to compound. I realized DMing, I can't just DM people and ask them to buy. I need to make them feel an emotion, a connection to the brand. And I need to create sales scripts that I can copy and paste that are gonna work across the board and that I can use and know what my conversion rates are. Not everyone's gonna buy, but I know if I had my scripts down, a percentage of people would take the offer. And this is really a story I'm telling you because this was my first real serious business. And I've started many serious businesses after that. I opened a brick and mortar barbecue restaurant that got featured in the Huffington Post, New York Times, Texas Monthly Magazine. I'm now building my personal brand to share my experiences with you guys. But if you're trying to start a business, you just have to know that all the information you've been gathering, all the books you've been reading, all the content you've been absorbing, it's somewhere in your subconscious mind. And you'll be able to unlock that wisdom when you start taking action. So hopefully you took something from this story of how I started my first six-figure business. And hopefully you have the confidence and the courage to go and do it yourself now. With that being said, I will see you guys in the next video.